These 10 tips helped us from being broke as Gen Z parents. I am a mom just sharing what works for our family. I am not a CPA or a financial advisor, so I highly suggest you do your own research. Me and my husband are Gen Z parents that live on one income, and we have 3 toddlers that we take care of also. We are a military family that has traveled the country I don't know how many times. Throughout that process, we have learned so much about trying to stay in control of our finances. All I want to do is just share and compare notes with you guys and see what's working for us, and maybe it will work for you as well. All right, without further ado, let's get into the tips. Tip number 1, actually checking our bank account when we are trying to budget. The first time I totaled up what we were actually spending, I was shocked, especially on what we spent to eat out. Best advice that I can give you is not to avoid your bank account. You have to tally up what's coming in and coming out of your bank account and kind of put that into categories and see what each category costs. If you're trying to get into budgeting, this is basically the first step. You're gonna have to know what every subscription is, how much you spend on groceries, how much you spend on gas. You're gonna have to know all this information to move on to budgeting. Tip number 2, you will need to budget a category for fun. Budgeting is already hard on its own, but when you budget and don't leave yourself something for your hobbies or to spend time with family, then it gets even harder. For us, we enjoy going out to eat as a family, or if we occasionally can have our own date night, we love doing that. And we also like family activities. So I budget out a little category that we call fun money. It is for us to go do what we enjoy as a family and be able to take the kids to do activities, even though we are on a budget. Now, doing this is super helpful because then you can stick to your budget for a longer period of time instead of getting burnt out because you have no money to do anything that you enjoy. Tip number 3, every dollar has a job. I like to say that idle money equals impulse buying. Assign every dollar you have to bills, debts, savings, whatever your goals are. For example, for us, we have to travel back across the country in a couple months. So we are saving up for that trip. Any extra money that we have is assigned to go into that savings account. It's not just gonna sit there and then all of a sudden it's spent and gone. We're gonna assign it to our savings account. Tip number 4, and this one was a hard one for me to learn, is that budgets are not one size fits all, especially dependent on your location or if you have a family or you're single. Your budget is not gonna look like somebody else's budget. Tip number 5, your budget will fail sometimes. This was especially one that got me frustrated and very irritated with myself and our budget, but unexpected expenses will happen. And also just life changes will happen. So a budget that you thought would work or did work a couple months ago, but now you have a new baby, it's not gonna be the same. You're gonna have to spend more on groceries or something else. Your budget's gonna change, and sometimes it's gonna fail, and sometimes there's unexpected expenses that come up, and you're just gonna have to roll with the flow. But do not give up on your budget. You just have to work out the problem areas and fix it to what needs to be fixed. And just know that it is okay to fail and adjust. Tip number 6, you have to start with one accomplishment at a time. For us, our biggest accomplishment that we focused on when we first started doing budgeting is having emergency savings fund. Whatever your goals are, you need to build your way up to them and not just try to do all of it at once. So if your goal is to buy a new car and you want to put a savings fund to buy a new car, you need to do that. Focus on that savings fund instead of also focusing on your boat fund that you want to get later down the road or whatever it is. Tip number 7, you should budget weekly, not just bi-weekly or monthly. For me, I do all 3 budgets. I do 1 monthly, I do 2 bi-weekly, and I do 4 weekly budgets. That just helps me stay in our budget and make sure that everything is going according to plan. The reason that I do all 3 of these type of budgets is because my husband gets paid bi-weekly, so we really focus on the bi-weekly budget, but I also like to do a check-in every week to make sure that we are still on a good budget or change our budget around if there's unexpected expenses that week coming up and I need some more money for whatever's happening, like we have to go get the truck oil changed, then I can budget out money the next week for that. So how I start my budgets with budgeting out all of these is I do my monthly budget, then I split that into my bi-weekly budget because that's when he gets paid, and then I split my bi-weekly budget into weekly budgets. I really just do this so I can know our numbers and adjust later. My biggest suggestion here, if you don't want to actually like write down every week budget, is just to do a check-in on your bi-weekly or monthly budget. Make sure you're still on track and you're getting all the bills and everything paid for. Tip number 8 is assign buffer money in your account. Basically, we would budget out every single dollar like I said to do, but we would never assign money to just be a buffer in the account in case of a bill transaction coming out a little sooner or something else happening in the account, and then we get overdraft fees. Now I assign about $100 as buffer money in our budget just in case something comes out sooner than I was expecting, or like a subscription is coming out, so that it reduces the amount of overdraft fees that we have and it just reduces stress as well. Tip number 9, stop thinking about your credit card as extra money. When we would run low on money, I would be like, oh, it's okay, we have an extra $1,000 on our credit card, we'll be fine. With that mindset, it just drug us down deeper into a pit of despair. Now, I'm not saying credit cards are bad if you know how to use them, but if you are just using them to survive, then you need to rethink everything. Just basically avoid the trap of relying on credit cards, because we fell in that trap and are working our way out of it very slowly. Tip number 10, and the most important out of I think all of them, budgeting equals freedom, not restriction. When we started budgeting, I felt more in control. Think of budgeting as just telling your money where it needs to go and what its job is. You can't run a company without telling your employees where they're supposed to be at and what their job is. Doing this is going to give you more confidence and less limitations, especially in the long run when you get to your goals. You're gonna be so thankful you stuck to your budget. Now, these are my favorite budgeting tips, and let me know what yours are in the comments, and if you have any other budgeting tips that I did not mention in this video, please leave them down below. I am going to be making more videos about our honest finances as Gen Z parents, so if that's something that interests you, please subscribe, and I hope these tips helped you out. Check the comments, see what other tips are suggested, and you have a wonderful day.